and there's no service facilities around, and I'll say, okay, Amy, get out the manual on the leveling jacks, and let's go through it, and I'll teach you how to get the jacks back up when you have no electricity and nothing's working. But she has to have the manual. So don't put it in the office. I've had that happen too. Where's the manual? What's in the office? Well, that's great. You're in the van, you got the problem. There's the manual. That doesn't work. Okay? Any other questions from the ladies? There are some new ladies.
Waiting for the demo.
Pardon?
Waiting for the demo.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Any more questions from the engineer types? Good. Okay. Let's talk about water. You have roughly about 60 gallons of fresh water aboard, and you have a 60-gallon holding tank. Now, there's a no-no. Everybody understand what a no-no is? You never have a full holding tank and a full water tank. Because if you do, you're going to try to put more water down the drain, and it has no place to go except overflow, and then you have a mess. So when you fill up the water tank, empty the holding tank. Okay?
So the two tanks, one goes to the
sink.
fresh water, the fresh water goes to the...
Yeah. No, you don't recycle it. You don't recycle it. You water the plants with the wastewater. Okay, now your vacuum system also dumps into the holding tank. And technically, vacuum is contaminated, has bioburden in it. So be careful where you drain your wastewater. In real life, the EPA says it has to be into approved sewer connection and all this good stuff. I have a lot of vans that operate in rural areas, and they use it to water the plants because it has a little protein in it, makes plants grow better. And you have a mercury separator aboard, so any mercury that was taken out of the patient's mouth or put into the patient's mouth goes into the mercury separator. Okay. Any questions on the water system?
Go to where? The mercury?
Mercury goes in the mercury separator.
Oh, okay.
If you do a lot of...
How do we dump it?
You doing it with composites or amalgams? Both. Probably once every 6 months. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So is the water just any tap water will be okay?
If you can drink it, you can put it in the van.
Okay.
If you can't drink it, don't put it in the van. By the way, on the dental units themselves, they have what's known as a clean water bottle system. You don't use the tap water. You can use bottled water for those, or you can use distilled water. You just need to make sure that you follow the dental unit instructions and flush it out. And now it'll be the responsibility of the dental assistants and the doctors. Are you familiar with clean water bottle systems? Are you using them now? Okay, not city water. Now we do that on vans particularly. And about once every 6 months or so, you want to flush out the water tank and put a little Clorox in there and just freshen up the water. Because the water tank will be subject to heat, and the little organism starts growing after a period of time. So you put some Clorox in there and clean it out, flush it out, make sure it tastes good. If you want to get real technical, take a slide and see what kind of organisms you've got growing. Okay, any questions? Yes, sir.
So this question may be go to the dentist. The 16 gallon of water, how long it can run?
60. 60 gallons, yes.
Okay. How many? 20.
Yeah, if you're one of these doctors who turns on the faucet, washes his hands, gets a towel, then shuts off the faucet, you're going to run out of water. But if you conserve water very easily, you can see 20 patients a day, 5 days a week, and not use 60 gallons. Very few of my vans have to replace water in the field. And after they learn to conserve water, they don't have the problem. Okay? Okay. Now we get into the van itself. There is what's called startup. And startup will be to get your electrical management done first, get your generator going, get your batteries charged, turn on your lights, turn on everything else, untie the equipment, level the van, put the jacks down, get ready to see patients. Startup procedure will usually take you about 10 to 12 minutes, depending upon who's doing it. And then we reverse the whole procedure when it's time to go home. and turn everything off, tie everything down, get ready to go, and drive home. So before we go out the van, I want to see if there's any more questions on systems or technical information.
So does it, operate by order? I mean, the first alarm lost it off or something? You're talking about reverse switch.
Yeah, well, I'll show you. We'll actually do demonstrations to go through it, take notes on it. Okay.
Are you done with the lecture part?
Yes, pretty much so. Okay, let's go to tech bulletin number 2.
Can I ask one more question about a water tank?
Absolutely.
So did you say you have 2 water tanks?
So you have one freshwater tank and one holding tank, waste tank.
Right. But the freshwater tank is, I thought you said there's another one that says like that.
No, there's just one freshwater tank, plus there's about 6 gallons of water and hot water heater.
So the 60-gallon water tank, everything comes from there, including the drill.
No, the drill is on the unit. It has its own 2-liter water bottle system.
Oh, so
It's called a clean water bottle system.
Okay, so there is another hot water bottle other than the 60-gallon.
Yes, the demo units are independent, so you can control the water that goes into it.
Okay, so the water that you use by the drill come from the other bottle.
The water used by the drill, or by the handpiece, comes from its own self-contained 2-liter water bottle.
So that needs to be refilled every so often as well.
You just want to make sure you have very clean water in the clean water bottle system.
Okay.
And also, you flush that out with chlorine once in a while. Okay, let's go to this is the part where you're talking about tech bulletin number 2, do's and don'ts. Number 1 is very important. Usually with a first user van, about a week into the activities of setting up and taking down, somebody will forget to tie down the stool. So they leave the facility, the driver's driving down the road, and it comes to a stop. And guess what? The stool comes roaring down the hallway right up to the front, scares the heck out of the driver. Hope you don't have an accident, and taken care of. Now, Amy has chosen assistant carts. Same thing happens with them, they're not tied down. The worst is dental assistant cabinets with all the instruments in it. I have seen that places where they've stopped, cabinets loose, all the cabinet comes down, hits the the box over the engine, falls apart, and then they have instruments all over the floor. You don't want to explain that to anybody. So make sure everything's tied down. Okay, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. Put the X-ray remote and control in a safe place. You don't have an X-ray remote, you have a handheld X-ray. It has its own case, and it will be in a case for transport because that was very expensive. And Amy doesn't want to buy 2 of them, just 1. Loose instruments and stuff in the sinks, that's very important. Don't leave anything on top of the countertop, particularly hand lotion bottles, loose stuff that goes around. You don't have a film processor, so that makes it easy. I hope you don't have a film processor. Ultrasonic cleaner, we'll show you how to drain that. That's very easy. Check the awning is secured for traveling. This is written when we had manual awnings. You have a power awning, but you want to make sure it's all the way up. Check the basement compartment doors securely latched. We'll teach you how to do the knee dance, which is closing the